Bear with me guys, Loren will be finished on her phone very shortly. Any minute. It's been half an hour already, she can't be much longer.
Ready.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am back here with Miss Lorena, all the way from London.
London town.
London.
London.
And today...
Like London, London, London.
That's
Fergie Ferg.
How come every time... I do like that song, London Bridge.
Yeah. Classic.
What's going to happen today, Lorena?
Today is a slightly different tone, Lee. Because I would like to tell you about an incident that happened to me a couple of weeks ago on public transport.
I've read your blog, and if you don't know, Loren's got a blog, guys. I'll put the link down below. But
I do.
Over to Loren.
My blog is called Pretty for a Big Girl. Not because I'm vain.
You are pretty.
I know, but that's it. I'm just pretty, not for a fat lass. The amount of people who said that to me in my life, and I'm like, you rude bastard. It's like me coming up to someone and saying, oh, you're really pretty for someone with a massive nose. Or you're really pretty, you know, if you weren't for a disabled person.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different vlog. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about what happened to me and tell you about it. Face to face.
Face to face.
So, you know my feelings about getting on public transport at the best of times. Like, I do not enjoy it. I avoid it. Unfortunately, it can't be avoided in London. Otherwise, you can't get anywhere.
You can't drive in London. Like, you can, but it's just...
It's too much.
Yeah.
So, I got on the bus from Finsbury Park to Crouch End because I am bougie and live in Crouch End now. And it was really hot. I mean, like... nasty hot.
Yeah, for anyone in America, you've got aircon normally. We don't have that in the UK, so when we have our like 3 days of summer, we literally melt.
So this is all just setting the scene as to what it built up to. So I was wearing the wrong outfit as well, so I was hot and I was sweaty and had my hair scraped back off my face and I just felt awful. I was like, oh. So I got on the bus and like, you know, the disabled priority seats at the front. I like sat on the one that was free because the bus was quite quiet and I thought, fine. But then a little old man got on and I thought, oh, so I stood up to let him on. And by that time the bus was filling up. So I stood in the pram bay on the bus. And then this guy got on and I clocked him straight away because, you know when sometimes you just spot someone and you just think...
You just tell...
I don't know, he just didn't seem very nice. Like he had a bit of a... I think the reason I noticed him is because a girl who was, you know, very beautiful, kind of very tanned, eyelashes, big long hair, got on the bus and he gave her a bit of a, like, ooh, 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 like lads, lads, lads. And I was like, oh, God, gross. So that's why I'd noticed him. So I was stood there and I was just looking around and I happened to look down when the bus had set off. And his camera was like tilted up towards me. And I was like, oh, here we go. Like someone taking a photo of me again. I mean, like I've said many times before, I'm fully aware that I'm fat and 6'1" with bright coloured hair.
I've been with you twice now where people have complimented you on your hair. Like it happened this morning.
No, but the thing is, it's not like, people are scared of difference, right? Like, and for people who are not secure in themselves, someone who looks different or dares to like, you know, be different than the norm is too much for their brains to handle, and it turns them into like playground bullies. Anyway, I'm talking about a fully adult grown man.
Yeah, I don't get it when like, it's grown up.
Fully grown man. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna go there, but dressed terribly. Right? But you know, I wouldn't say that to his face. Dressed awfully. And I could tell he was taking a photo because his sunglasses, I can
people
see,
think they're not being obvious and it's so obvious.
I know. It's like, you know, there is such thing as a reflection. So I could see he'd taken a photo of me. And I thought, don't be so paranoid. Sometimes I get it wrong and I just assume the worst in people. So I thought, no. So I like had a quick look around just to make sure, you know, there wasn't like, I don't know, like a massive turtle behind me. I don't know why I said that, but like some, you know, some like spectacle behind me or something funny happening, something I hadn't seen. So I looked around and I looked up and I straight away, it just clicked into place and I went, oh, you absolute loser. So above me, there's these new ads for 3 Mobile that have kind of big, like, provocative statements on them. And this one said, "Go binge." And I was like, great, fat girl, go binge poster. Oh my God, comedy gold. So I knew what he'd done straight away, and I could see in his glasses that he'd sent it on WhatsApp. Bear in mind, I'm quite, by this point, blatantly staring at him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quite obviously looking straight at him, and he just has the gall to sit there and do this. I knew what he said. Like, he said something along the lines of, like, "Oh, I think she's had enough," like, or something like, just like derogatory and nasty. And I need to say as well, right, on a lighter note, nobody looks good at an up angle, right?
Never.
Doesn't matter if you're a very slim person, it doesn't matter. Like, he took an up angle of my arm with the poster. I'm sweaty, like, dressed like it all in black. Like, I just looked, I wasn't living my best life that day anyway.
You were on public transport.
So like, anyone like...
No one's living the best life when they're on the bus.
Well, yeah. And so I just thought, oh, you know what, like, another loser. The amount of times I've had this in my life as well. And the reason I decided to talk about it is because I've decided of late to become a little bit more vocal about things when it comes to body issues. Yeah. So I'm a Be Real ambassador for the Be Real campaign. And it's basically just speaking out about, but not so much body positivity, but just like having respect for different bodies, like, in our society. Not everybody looks the same. Yeah. Like, I do look different, and I choose to look different for me, not for him. Yeah. So for him to sit there and turn my body and the way I look into a joke, I just felt, I felt like a weird emotion. It wasn't upset, anger or frustration. It was just like, almost like a violation. Like, I genuinely felt really violated that he thought that that was an okay thing to do. So I'm stood there and I think, oh God, what am I gonna do? And I decided I will say something, because if I don't say something, I'm gonna regret it. Yeah. So I decided, like, half chickening out, I thought, when I get off the bus, I'll say something, and then I can, like, disappear, like, I can Houdini the situation and just go. So I was like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. So I geared myself up and I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, you're gonna confront the bully. And like, I honestly, this sounds like really dramatic, but I genuinely felt like that, like, 13-year-old, like, fat ginger girl on the bus who had to confront this idiot from the year above me who was like making earthquake sounds when I walked down the bus. I felt like, and I was too scared then to say anything.
So it feel like you're taking the power back.
But now, as like the fierce woman I am, I was like, no, I'm not accepting this, I'm gonna say something. But inside I was like shaking like a leaf. I was like, oh no, this is gonna go terribly. And then he gets up to get off at my stop, and I was like, no, like, I was like, damn it. Oh, it doesn't matter. And I thought, just swallow it, just get on with your life. And then, and this, without sounding like, like overly dramatic, I started thinking, I'm very lucky in a lot of ways, because I've decided to look like I am, and I know I don't look normal, whatever normal is nowadays.
You're literally the most glamorous person I know, though.
Well,
I think if you've ever watched all my videos, there's one a while ago with my PlayStation VR, and my friend Sarah's trying it, and literally whenever Loren is coming to visit, Sarah is just like, I'm gonna have to get all of my makeup and make all the effort because Loren looks so glamorous.
Yes.
So other women feel like they look...
Well, no, that's very flattering, do you know what I mean? It's flattering to have admiration for something. There's things I admire about her, and there's things, I think we all look at each other and we all think, I wish I had that, or I wish I had that characteristic, or I had this, or had this. But fundamentally, we're all like who we are. We all choose what we want to do. We all look how we want to look, and it's really none of anyone else's business.
Exactly.
And it's just frustrating for me because you know, I have quite a lot of, I'm going to use the word privilege very loosely, but I am, you know, I'm just a fat girl. But when you think about people in our society who are completely underrepresented, I mean, I am one of the more represented. People think about like disabilities, age, race, like all of these things that makes a difference. Like, I am, you know, there's so many groups of people in our society who are completely marginalised. And I just thought, so when I was stood on that bus, I thought, I have to say something to him because it's so awful.
Yeah.
What if he hadn't done that to me, who can have a more like rational opinion and idea about what had happened? And I know he's an idiot.
Yeah.
It might cut me deep and I might be like, oh, you know, it upset me. But I'm like, he's the idiot in this situation.
Yeah, you should never do that.
But I thought, what if that had happened to a girl that wasn't me? What would have happened if, not being dramatic, what if that had happened to a fat girl who had had a really bad day, was suffering very badly with her own self-worth? What if that was like the final straw that made her do something bad, or made her miss a meal, or feel bad about herself? And I just thought, how dare you do that? So anyway, I got off the bus and I thought, I have to say something. So like I did the old like nod, like pat him on the shoulder. And he went, and I was like, I seen what you did, like I seen you take a photo. And he went, blah, blah, blah. You know when people get confronted and like they just go blah, 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 blah. I was like, I might be fat but I'm not thick. I seen you clear as day. I went, if you're gonna take a stealth photo with someone, at least keep it stealth and remember you've not got sunglasses on where I can see everything that's happening. I was like, it's absolutely disgusting. I said, you're a grown man, you should know better. I said, it's outright bullying, it's disgusting. I'm glad that you've had a little laugh at my appearance today. And he kept trying to talk and I was like, this is not a conversation. This is a one-way conversation because I don't want to hear anything you have to say. So I spun on my heel and like went to walk away. But you know, by that point when you've like confronted someone, you're like overcome by emotion, you get the chin wobble. And my chin was like wobbling and I was like, don't cry, don't cry. And then this other guy who was on the bus had like kind of stepped in and was like trying to talk to me, and because I don't think he'd realised what had happened, he just knew I was upset. So I like walked away at the street and I was like, yes, yes, yes. I got about like 20 steps and I was like, and I got in and Carl, my boyfriend, was like putting his trainers on ready to go out and like pound him out. And I was like, that's not going to help the situation, is it? But I just thought, it like, you know, it happens a lot to me. I get a lot of looks, whether it's because of my height, it's because of my hair, it's because of my weight, whatever it is. And you know, 95% of the time, I just get on with it and I ignore it. But that 5%, when someone dares to go that extra mile and do something so over the top, I just thought, how dare you do that to someone? I was so infuriated, so I wrote a blog about it. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it on your channel and in video, because I think, you know, you read it in a blog and it's a bit soulless, but I'm the person this happened to. Like,
exactly.
I'm sat here and now I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. And, you know, he looked like a man in his late 40s. He had a wedding ring, he has a wife.
It's crazy how some people behave. And the fact that you stood up to him though, hopefully he will never do that again now.
Well,
so
hopefully not.
Hopefully you have protected someone who might be a lot more vulnerable than you.
Yeah, and I think as well, just one last thing, it's like, I know that I can hold my hands up, and if I'm being completely honest, there has been times in my life where I've seen someone who looks extreme in some way, and maybe I've been with someone and I've been like, oh, like, you know, because I understand, like, when we see difference, you do notice it. Not that I'm mean about that person, but you might comment to your friend like, oh, like, did you see that? And I'm not saying that none of us aren't guilty of, you know, kind of fallen prisoner to our own humanity and being a little bit horrible, but I feel going that extra step to photograph someone and share it and make a joke of someone, I just think it's such abhorrent behaviour. And I hope he has daughters, and I hope that someone's mean to her one day and he'll know how that feels. Like, I'm not just a fat girl on the bus, like, I am a person and I actually have a life, and you doing that, and what was the expectation? I might get turned into a meme and get shared around online, and it's like, lol, lol, look at the fat girl who's like binging at a buffet. So I was just like, the whole thing was absolutely horrible. But obviously the one good thing is that he obviously lives where I live, so I've been Hawkeye for the last 2 weeks, like looking out for him. And if I find him, I'm gonna go up to him and be like, you need to come on a YouTube channel and talk about what happened. So everyone can feel better.
Him. Yeah, just confront him. That was interesting because normally,
anyway.
yeah, because the whole problem with YouTube as well is everyone assumes everyone's just putting on a front and no one's really being themselves. So, don't know, you probably found that quite interesting to see what Loren's actually like and get to know her as a person, because she is a person.
But we might get back to just, you know,
chatting shit.
Chatting shit, so...
But no, that was really good, and you should check out Loren's blog because she's wrote a lot of articles. They're really funny. She wrote one when we were in Hotel Rita Ora as well, which is a really fun one. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Leave some comments, leave some feedback. Follow us on social media. And follow the Be Real campaign. Yes, follow that campaign. It's really good. It's spreading the good word and making the world a better place. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time. Bye.